For our speaker tonight, Robin O'Bannon. Where, Robin? I met Robin.
Oh my gosh.
Interesting enough, we met when they opened up all the Freeman records. Does everybody know what the Freeman records are?
No.
They were all of the records of the slaves. And so they had no access, and Robin could probably even share a little bit more, but they've never had access to these records. And so you had several generations that didn't even really know where they came from. Am I correct? They did not know, because once you came, you were now owned. And so they didn't have records, but the Freemans, they did keep records of, you know, where they were. And so when these records opened up recently, the LDS Church bought the rights to them and then gave them back. Am I right, Slay? And gave them back. The only thing is they had to index the millions of names. And so that's where they went out to the United States people and said, will you help us index, because that's the only way we're going to take this microfiche. And they set a goal to index. Do you remember how many names?
4 million.
4 million
4 million
names.
records.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was to be done within a year for the opening in Washington, D.C. And
For the museum?
Smithsonian, yeah.
the Smithsonian. And because people across this country heard the call, spoke up, they indexed those names in a little over 6 months.
Wow.
Which that's normally, if you're going to index 4 million, do you remember what they said?
We hope that they would be able to do it within a year.
Yeah.
But they did better than that.
Yeah.
Didn't hear about that on the news either, yeah.
Yeah, you did it, and all these faith groups came together and indexed them, and it's quite amazing to go to the museum and see that whole floor dedicated. And I was so excited to have been there, to have seen their faces. Because when they heard what was being opened up to them, I looked around that room, and you know, it was one of the first times that there was maybe about 5 or 6 whites that were in with these people, interesting, these people of color. And what was so amazing was we were one.
Yeah.
That was a room where we were one. I was as excited for them. I felt how huge that was, that finally people were going to know their names.
Wow.
Their natural names. And Robin explained a lot to me after that, and I just knew I had a connection, and we were
Sisters.
sisters, and we were gonna go. And she introduced me to several people there, and that's one of my best days, I think, to understand something, because I myself was never raised with color. And so I didn't understand or ever think that there were people who did not know where they came from.
Yeah.
That just never occurred to me at that level. And so it was so great to be there, and for all of them to, you know, just bear a testimony that we're okay. We've moved. This is just good. This is icing on the cake for where we have come. So with that, I'm going to let her tell you she is a veteran, which is amazing. And she'll tell us all about that. She is a single mother of 2 amazing young men. I met her friend, who's just equally amazing, at her home. But she's going to have some really, really neat things to say to us tonight. And then it's up to us to go out and help educate everybody else to it. And so with that, I'm going to turn over to Robin.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am Technical Sergeant Robin O'Bannon, United States Air Force, retired, and war is my business. So, well, it really was. But I don't know if I can express to you I don't know if I can express to you how absolutely humbled I am to talk to you this evening about this particular subject. Susan, don't you go sleep on me. Don't be calling me out in class. What I hope you walk away with this evening is a feeling of absolute empowerment and a feeling of purpose. I hope that your mind is blown in a good way, that there may be some pieces of a puzzle that will come together and just snap into place for you tonight, as it did for me. I am going to talk to you here because people over politics, when Leanne first explained to me what you were all about, I was a little overwhelmed because I couldn't believe that a group like yours actually existed, where we look at people before we look at the labels that we've placed on them, and that society has demanded that we place on people. And those labels exist because we are limited in our scope and in our ability to recognize individual gifts and talents and all of that stuff because we're human, painfully so. But those divisions that exist between us have absolutely no eternal significance whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Okay, no eternal significance whatsoever. But there are things in this country that hold eternal significance, and I think that we should talk about this evening. And one of the reasons why I feel so humbled tonight is because of the number of ladies in the room. And fellas, this is for you too, so don't feel left out. This is good news. Don't get scared. Don't do this. You don't have to go anywhere, because this is for you as well. But I believe that that women in America, when they know who they are and when they know whose they are, they have the power to change the trajectory of the entire country. We have a level of power that I don't think that we are entirely aware of. And it's a level of power that is so beautifully compatible with male leadership that's exactly what our fellas are waiting for. You know, I think that they are doing the very best they can, but they're like, girl, get on up here because I cannot do this by myself. So, you know, step on up. There have been women throughout history who have changed the course of history, and we don't often talk about them because the world moves so fast, and the world is always telling you this is what matters, this is what matters right now. And a whole lot of stuff that the world is telling us matters, it don't matter. Okay? So I hope that this is a very empowering presentation for you. It is Cliff Notes, very concentrated. I'm in the midst of working with a civil rights leader in Los Angeles. His name is Ted Hayes. He's my mentor. And he works with Dr. Alveda King and C.L. Bryant. And we're trying to build a curriculum that tells history as it actually happened. Because history as it actually happened in the United States, being as young as we are as a country, it impacts us here today. So there are two things I want to say. One is one of my favorite guys. This guy right here. Anybody familiar with Sun Tzu? Right? When I said war is my business. I retired from the Air Force in 2005. One of my jobs, many jobs of mine that I had in the Air Force was as a leadership instructor. So I had the opportunity to teach some of America's best and brightest young leaders about the very basics of this, well, stuff that they don't get in school today, like conflict resolution, integrity, character, courage, what it takes in order to go out and actually make a difference in the world, and how your level of importance in this world has nothing to do with the person that's sitting next to you. So you're not in competition with them. They might be in competition with you, but that's their problem, not yours. I'm just saying. But we live a very comparative life in this nation today. We're often looking at what other people are doing. Women are especially susceptible to doing, hey Mark, come on in. They're particularly susceptible to this because we have a tendency to compare our worst to somebody else's best. How that got started, how we ended up doing that, I'm just like, come on, girls, stop. But it's epidemic. It is actually epidemic. And there are things that women deal with in this day and age that actually, these challenges are actually commensurate with the level of power that we actually have. But I'm here to let you know that you have it, just in case you either never knew it or you forgot. Okay? So I'm just here to help. The reason I keep talking about this is because one of the greatest challenges for me, and part of my purpose that I know that I was sent here for, that I was created for, that I was designed for, that my characteristics are for, is women's leadership. Because my entire life has been leadership. And women are the, contrary to popular belief, they are the yin to the gentleman's yang, right? And without the yin and the yang, and without the yang and the yin, we lack balance. And because we lack balance, we often can overlook things that are extremely significant and extremely important, especially for the direction of our families, and in this case, the direction of our country. So I want to make sure that you understand that I harp on women, and I've made them my purpose because I was called to do so, believe it or not. It's the kind of stuff that keeps me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know that, how that happens. When you wake up at 3 in the morning and you can't sleep. So you have a whiteboard on one side and you got notebooks on the other, and you ain't going back to sleep until you write down what you've been inspired to write down. Because women are such an untapped resource. They're such an untapped source of power. And I believe that if women knew who they were and whose they were, that they would actually have the power to bring down